Hi, I'm Ross Burnell with Fisherman magazine, and next up for the iCast New Fishing Gear Guide, we've got John Fraser from Simms Fishing Products to show us an exciting new wader. John, good to see you.
Good to see you, Ross. I'm a little bummed won't be seeing you in Orlando next month, but that's okay. We've got some exciting stuff to discuss. So yeah, whenever you're ready, I can give you a quick walkthrough.
Great. When I first heard about this flyweight waders, I was pretty excited, you know, really lightweight and new material, but I guess it's even more exciting than that. To start off, can you tell us about the waders themselves and the fabric package?
Yeah, what I'll do is, there's a little bit of a story behind this wader. So I'll just kind of give you a brief background, and then I'll give you a good thorough walkthrough of the whole piece. We've been carrying around the term flyweight for some time now, and when it came down to designing the wader, we really wanted to break the mold, not just for Simms waders, but really for waders in general. I think the kind of the end goal of this was to offer a wader that was really designed for the high output angler. You know, the guy who leaves his truck at sunup and doesn't start walking back until sundown. The angler who's going to be in waders that whole time. So yeah, we've got tons of innovations in this wader, lots of great features, got an all new fabric package, new fit, and then of course we have this 511 Hex Grid cargo carry system here that we'll talk about more in just a couple of minutes. So what I'd like to do first is kind of just run through the fabric of this wader. So we've got 3 different Gore-Tex fabrics to talk about in the wader. We'll start with the upper portion here. This is a 3-layer Gore-Tex Pro Shell fabric, nice and lightweight, super durable, incredibly breathable. So that's what we've got in the upper. If you move down here, you see this darker fabric. This is a Gore-Tex 4-layer Pro Shell fabric. And Ross, I know you're familiar with the G4 Pro and G4Z wader. This 4-layer is actually the same fabric that we use in the lower portion of those waders. We just had so much success with the puncture and abrasion resistance and kind of the wearability of that fabric, we brought it into the flyweight. The third fabric that I'll mention is something brand new for Simms. We have a 3-layer Gore-Tex Pro Shell stretch fabric in the Crotch Gusset here. I don't know if you can see this darker material here. But again, this is a stretch fabric. So what that's going to do, we've obviously strategically placed it in this region. So the angler is going to get lots of articulation, really unhindered range of motion. It's actually going to really help with the overall fit of the wader as well. So again, 3 Gore-Tex fabrics, all of them serving different purposes to aid that high output angler.
So just sort of interrupt, but it's waterproof, it's breathable, and it's stretchy.
That's right.
Never have been a breathable wader that's also stretchy.
Yeah, like I say, this is for Simms, bringing a stretch material into a wader. So really, really excited about that.
That's amazing.
Wow. And so as we move on, I'll go ahead and briefly mention what I consider to be the most distinguishing factor of this wader, and that is this 511 Hex Grid that you see here on the chest. I'm actually going to bring Matt Carrera from the product team up in just a little bit to take a deeper dive on the functionality of this feature. But basically what you have here is a multi-directional load-bearing cargo carry system. So again, when I talk about the flyweight collection, keep in mind we've got the wader here, but we've also got some packs, and we've got all kinds of accessories here. These accessories work in conjunction with this Hex Grid pattern here. So again, I'm going to bring Matt up in just a minute. He's going to show you a little bit more about how that works, but really, really cool feature of the wader. And so we'll go ahead and talk about some of the other features here. We've got our adjustable suspenders, as you might expect. We've got opposing Duraflex buckles, so if you want to do the waist-high conversion, you can easily do that. As we move down, you'll also notice here, we've got this scalloped top pin here. This is actually a fair bit lower than the rest of the waders in our line. So again, you know, when we were researching this wader, not just high output anglers, but high output athletes, we realized that a lot of that breathability comes from the upper to mid chest, which is why we brought that down. So you're going to get enhanced breathability up there. And then I'm going to go ahead and unbuckle here, and I'll flip this top part down. You'll see in this top portion, you've got air mesh here for added ventilation. You've also got a nice zippered stash pocket for small essentials on the underside of the upper of the wader. So let me go ahead and buckle this back up. And then you'll also notice we've got two reach through hand pockets. So these are not hand warmer pockets, but still a great place to stash small essentials or just simply rest your hand. And then now I'm going to go ahead and turn the wader to its side. I hope you guys can see this. But on both sides, we have two stretched gussets on the side. And so you've got that 3-layer stretch right here as well. And so basically, and again, they're on both sides. So basically what you have, you have two modes. You have relaxed mode, which is when they're unzipped, and you have athletic mode when you're zipped up. So for example, if you're rowing or if you're eating lunch or if you just need a little bit of added ventilation, go ahead and put these in relaxed mode. And what that's going to give you, that's going to give you 4 additional inches of ease in the upper portion of the wader. And once again, when it's time to get back up and get moving, go ahead and zip them up and off you go. So then just real quick, we've got a new super low profile flyweight buckle here on the wading belt. And then as we move down, I just want to point out a couple things. So you can kind of notice here where the 3-layer meets the 4-layer, that seam is at an angle. That's also a strategic design that we incorporated here. So basically what that does is you're going to get the 4-layer on the front of the knee, you know, where you have, you know, a lot of high wear, but then on the back, kind of like the chest, we learned that, you know, a lot of breathability happens, you know, behind the knee. So you're going to get that 3-layer behind the knee for breathability.
It's basically a really durable shin guard for going through brambles and thorns and stuff like that.
Yeah. And also, as you might expect, we've got our patented front and back leg seam. So again, giving the angler tons of mobility and articulation. And then real quick, I'm not going to pan the camera down. I'm just going to show you, but we have a new stretch gravel guard on the flyweight wader. This gravel guard is a little bit different than the other gravel guards in our wader line. Basically, we call it a Hex Air, which basically means it's a perforated fabric, so it doesn't retain water as easily. Therefore, it dries quicker. It also is a little bit more low profile for easy packability and maneuverability. And then, of course, we have our anatomically correct left and right stocking feet with an antimicrobial finish. So really, all told, that is the all-new flyweight stocking foot wader. And once again, this is just what I consider to be the centerpiece of the flyweight collection. But we've got, you know, we've got packs, we've got accessories, all kinds of stuff that work in conjunction with this wader. And so with that, I'm going to bring up Matt Carrera from the product team, and he is going to give you a quick demonstration of how this Hex Grid really works.
Cool. The waders look amazing. Well, I'm really interested to see how you attach things to that grid pattern.
Matt's going to do that right now. It's super cool stuff, highly customizable. However you want to run the wader, you can do it. So Matt, I'll let you take it away.
Cool. Probably the most striking feature on this wader. And this 511 Hex Grid is a technology that 511 developed for tactical purposes. But we found a really nice opportunity for anglers to use this. In most cases, load carry systems to attach pouches and things like that are done with molly webbing, if you're familiar with molly webbing. And in all cases, molly webbing is horizontal webbing, and you'd use vertical strips of webbing to attach a pouch or something to that. It's an old standard. It's been used by the military for years and years. It's a patented system, and it's really nice. But anglers typically want a bit more customization is what we found. And the benefit of 511 Hex Grid is that with molly, your orientation is just straight vertical. So because it's horizontal webbing, you're restricted to only 90-degree placement. So anytime you attach a pouch, I'm going to show you here with our flyweight small pod. If this were molly webbing, it would be only that orientation. But knowing that we're casting and there's a lot of encumbrance that might happen with having something bulky on your chest, being able to orient this at an angle is a true benefit. So given the hex shape, you can orient at 6 different angles. So either straight horizontal, straight vertical, or at any of the 45-degree angles that would follow the hex. So in this case, I could cant this at a particular angle to make it easier to get my hand into the pack. We've developed water bottle holsters and a bear spray holster. So if you needed to quickly deploy bear spray, you'd have it at that really anatomical angle to be able to pull that out quickly. So the benefit here is customization. This is really a set it and forget it type system. So once this is attached, you can sort of leave your pack in place. Once you've found out the orientation that you want to put your accessory on, typically you keep it in place there. But the other nice piece about this is, and another advantage over molly webbing, is that when you weave this system correctly, it's a very positive lock to the system. So it's going to keep things in place. And just to illustrate that, I want to show you a piece of hex grid that I have here with some webbing set up. So this tan color webbing is the strap that would be on any of the accessories. It's a TPU coated webbing that I'll show you here on the small pod. And behind that, on the back panel of these packs, we have what's called a webbing ladder. And that allows you to weave this TPU coated webbing all the way through. So essentially what we're going to end up with is a weave both through the hex with our TPU webbing, which is truly our anchor, and a weave through the webbing ladder on the back panel. So when I'm talking about that, you can see here that we have the straps for quick attach, but we also have this webbing ladder that allows us to weave. So I'm weaving this TPU webbing both through the webbing ladder as well through the hex grid laminate here. So if I were to attach this pod, I'll run you through the steps here. The first step that I do is to bring this TPU coated webbing through these first couple pieces of the webbing ladder. And what that'll do is, as I attach this is going to keep my pack from falling forward on the body. So I'm not going to get any canting forward. Things aren't going to be loose. Once I've done that, I have that secured. I find my orientation. In this case, if I were to wear this wader, I'd probably want to put this at an angle to the side that would be really comfortable for me. So I'll weave through these pieces of hex grid here and pull that webbing tight, make sure that I'm at the right angle, and then peel this back up, excuse me, and I'm going to go back through the webbing ladder there, again, just to make that tight weave so we get a really positive attachment. So the thing about weaving this is that it does take a little bit of practice the first go around, but it really is a simple system once you've nailed it. So as I weave through that webbing ladder, I'm back through the hex grid, and I'm going to weave both sides of my TPU coated webbing here just for that really solid attachment.
So basically the hex grid lets you attach whatever you want, wherever you want it, that's comfortable for your length of arms and your reach, so that everything's right where you want it, when you want it. So, and it's not just fly box and packs. Like, what other kind of attachments do you have that can go on the hex grid?
Yeah, so, well, all sorts of options. So we developed here, I'd say the biggest, sort of the anchor outside of the wader collection is the Flyweight Tech utility belt. And this is a wading belt that our working name forever was the Batman belt here. And really the idea here is allowing you to have this big piece of hex grid. You can attach any number of pieces. We have a flyweight large pod here, so a large 5-liter hip pack. This could attach really well and stay in place at any point, on the back panel there. As well, we developed a net holster. And so this net holster, the big benefit here of the canting is that that vertical orientation for a lot of anglers, the net just runs right up your back and it's not very comfortable for all day wear. But being able to put that at an angle allows you to deploy the net really quickly if you need to net a fish. Also allows you to dock that net really quickly. And keeping it at an angle is going to keep it from hitting the back of your legs or being running up your back. And then we developed 2 different size bottle holsters here as well. So a large bottle holster for your larger, Yeti stainless steel insulated bottles or your big Nalgene, as well as small bottle holster, which is perfect for that more sport size bottle, your quick 20 ounce, but also, specifically designed around the size of a bear spray canister. So for knowing that this angler is going into the backcountry, this was a piece that was really important, and particularly to have at different angles so that you could have that quick deployment of bear spray when you absolutely need it. Hoping you never do, but when you do, we have you covered with the small bottle holster. So
it gives the back support that you need, helps your back, gives you the support you need, and you can carry whatever you need.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really cool system.
Scallop shape there. So yeah, absolutely. And just tons of attachment options and, really hundreds of combinations that you could use with the small pod, the large pod, and any of the accessories. Absolutely. To keep this all comfortable and to keep everything really accessible. Absolutely when you need it.
Well, thanks a lot for walking us through the new waders. The grid system looks fantastic. Can't wait to get it out on the water.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll turn it back over to John. Thanks for your time, guys.
All right. Thanks, Matt.
Cool, Ross. So that's what I've been kind of telling you about in passing for the past few months. But yeah, killer new wader. And like I say, and as Matt demonstrated, you can customize all of these products any number of ways. So we are super excited about the entire collection.
Can't wait to get those out on the water and give them a roll. Looks pretty awesome.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot for giving us a run through today. Appreciate it.
You got it. Thanks, Ross.